Yankov. So free kick then again to Bayern Munich.
The partnership up front for Bayern, Mike, with Janko, who's a classic type centre-forward from the old-fashioned mould. Elbow is very mobile and skillful. It's a good complement they got up front, and they work well together.
Yes, Janko, in fact, was in doubt for this game. He missed the last game because of a knee injury. And Rizzatelli, the Italian striker, now fully recovered. He's been named as one of the substitutes. Blocked that time, so it's going to be a throw for Besiktas. This is Serdan. He's made a couple of appearances for Turkey. Now, fist away by Khan. Again, it wasn't too convincing, but Hikmet there, unable to turn his shot anywhere near the target in the end.
Yes, but one thing they do, once a cross comes in, they put heavy pressure on the goalkeeper. That shot was obviously not what they were looking for by Hikmet, but look at this cross come in. It's floated up there, but they do put pressure on the goalkeeper, and he was struggling there just to get, he flapped at it, really.
Wasn't the best of clearances either. Here come Besiktas now. Lechkov making a run through the centre-forward channel. Away there by Q4. This is Thomas Helmer, captain of Bayern Munich. David Scholl.
I feel if you're going to get to Bayern, you have to exploit those spaces that Scholl, who plays on the right, but he loves to push up, and Michael Tarnit plays on the left, but he also pushes up. So many times Bayern are playing with three at the back, and you can exploit those spaces that three defenders can't cover.
Lothar Matthäus. Just a play, of course, for Trapattoni when Trapattoni was managing Inter Milan. They had such a good understanding there that it was Lothar Matthäus who was one of the people very much instrumental in bringing Trapattoni here to Bayern Munich. As Janka gets on the end of that cross, couldn't quite direct his header on target.
But once again, look at the big target that Janka presents, and he got under the ball that time, but you can't allow him any space in the boxes. He's so good in the air, Mike. Look at this, he just rises. Unfortunately, gets under it too much, but he's very dangerous in the box.
Getting back to that story with both Matthäus and Giovanni Trapattoni. It's been a bit of a falling out in recent seasons. Two characters, both with very strong personalities. Both wanting things done their way. You really can't argue with Trapattoni's record. 6 Serie A titles, 2 Coppa Italias, a European Cup, a Cup Winners' Cup, a UEFA Cup, and the World Club Championship. Pretty much got a full set, hasn't he?
Yeah, but I tell you what, you can't argue much with Matthäus' record either. I mean, you know, he can just pull that World Cup winners medal out. That will silence a few people.
Let's touch on that far side now. Nerlinger.
That's the strength for Bayern Munich down that left side with Nerlinger and Tarnit on the left. They're both very gifted players, predominantly left-footed, and they provide nice balance out there for Bayern Munich.
Now Helmer. This is better from Besiktas, and now the shot on the turn. And it nearly caught out Oliver Kahn, who's a bit slow getting down for that, and it was Oktay who pounced on that half chance.
Well, I like this from him. Look at him, he gets a through ball, he doesn't even bother controlling it. His thirst for is to hit it on goal, just narrowly wide, but you can see the striker's mentality in him. He makes a great diagonal run, and he's just trying to keep that ball low and hit it hard. Unfortunately, he couldn't get it on the target, but I like his mentality there, Mike.
Yes, Oktay is only 21 years old. He's had a lot of personal problems off the field in the last 6 months. He's overcome them. Certainly he's kept his mind very much focused on the game. NBA action here on ESPN live on Friday. You can see the Knicks up against the Pistons. That's the NBA action live Friday. Check your local listings for times as ESPN continues to bring you the best of sport from around the world. Here's Mehmet Scholl.
Just knowing John Toshak, Mike, you know, from his past days as a player and a coach, I think at half-time, if they're still down a bit, I think he'll make a tactical change and really throw caution to the wind and go for this game. We saw the Turkish national team when they played against Holland, when they needed a win, play so defensively, but I don't think Toshak will allow that to happen with this group.
Oh, a terrible clearance there by Fezi. Janko really couldn't take advantage of it. It came to him so quickly. Keeper there really stubbed the clearance, and the 20-year-old keeper was unfortunate to get away with that one. Straight up in the air. Elba goes down, and now the shot. Goalkeeper there did very well. It was Nerlinger. In fact, Tarnit who volleyed that one in.
Oh, very well struck. Look at this bouncing ball, and that is swerving, Mike. Good save by the goalkeeper just to stay with it. He knocks it down, parries it to himself, and gets a rebound. So good shot and a good save. Good play.
Here come Besiktas. Ball played inside. Lechkov trying to chip it over the goalkeeper, and he's going to settle for a corner. Bayern Munich there looking to play the offside trap, and Lechkov, such an experienced player, was able to beat it.
Yes, he got behind. Possibly, if he could, he should have pulled it back with his left foot. He tried to chip it over the goalkeeper's right foot, and there was a supporting player coming in for the tap-in. He possibly could have just dragged that back, but good opportunity there for Besiktas.
Want to hit long this time. Able to deal with it quite comfortably. Now Erkan. So brought down. Round on a free kick. He's not interested. Now Elba. Here's Mehmet Scholl. With a German mother, a Turkish father. Interviewed when he arrived here in Istanbul, said that despite his family ties, he's got no allegiance or ties with Turkey. He feels that he is a German player, and of course he is a German international. Played for Germany on 15 occasions. Father came out with an interesting comment and said if he scores against Besiktas, which is his team, they can give him a clip round the ear.
Well, he can't win either way, Mike, so I think after this game, the best thing he can do is get on the first plane and see you later.
Yes, he hasn't seen his father for a number of years, in fact, since he was 7. First time he's seen him in 19 years.
This is one thing about the Germans. We're all almost approaching the half-hour mark. They're not spectacular in their play. They're not going to bring you out the seats time and time again, but they're very efficient and they get the job done. Time is against Besiktas, but the Germans are just playing their normal game.
Now Lechkov. Square and good anticipation there by Helmer.
Just looking at the way this ball is bobbling around, Mike, I agree with John Toshak. I mean, it doesn't look from afar that this pitch is a problem, but there are a lot of divots, a lot of, it looks like sod on the ground, and the ball just keeps bobbling around.
Yes, he summed it up as a potato field. Although it looks very good, and the reports that we had that was only been well rolled and it was quite flat, it seems to be cutting up quite easily. Now this is opportunity for Sadar to put it across. Helmer read the play well. And look at this for a break, and now here goes Elba. Elba faced there by the keeper and denied by the woodwork. Well, a swift break that from Bayern Munich. Helmer started it, and Elba very nearly finished it.
Yes, it's called transition. This starts in their own half, and this shot is just swerving away, catches the base of the post, but it's starting in their own half. Janker supplied elbow, and he just swerved that shot onto the post. Very unlucky, desperately unlucky not to get the second goal for Bayern Munich. Beautiful exhibition, though, Mike, how they turned defense into attack. I mean, that was so swift. It took them 3 passes, actually 2 passes to get from one end to the other.
That challenge in the air for Bayern Munich. Made his international debut against South Africa a couple of weeks ago for Germany, and actually scored on his debut. Here's Helmer. He's got pushed down that time. It's going to be a free kick. There's Helmer there, just caught by Hikmet.
This fella seems to be around for such a long time. He's captain of the side tonight. Many thought Mateus might get the captain's armband back, but he's such an experienced player. He's played in World Cups, and he does a great job for them.
And we've got a second goal for Bayern Munich. And you were just saying Helmer does a great job for them, but he's the player who has popped up. That flick header from the free kick. And look at that. Climbed above everybody and guided that into the top corner.
Well, the aerial route has been good to Bayern Munich, and that is an emphatic finish there. The cross was supplied by Malcolm Tarnat. Look at the swerve and the dip on this. That sets it all up, and Helmer, once again, another just guided header. We saw the first goal by Janker. It was almost a carbon copy, and the captain comes up real big for them, and they're really in front now.
Yes, that's his 3rd goal in the Champions League. And it came in the 31st minute. Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. And Bayern, remember, 60 seconds earlier, hit the post, and now Fezzi again called into action. Stop that shot. Look at this. Goalkeeper there did well at full stretch.
Yes, he couldn't have seen much of that, and Bayern right now are just pouring it on. They're doing everything they want to do, and it's in the air where they've totally dominated the Turkish side.
Scholl there trying to lift that one over the goalkeeper. Fezzi, the 20-year-old who's come up through the juniors. Not the first choice goalkeeper normally. Having to play because Croatian international Mermic sent off in the last match day in that loss in Gothenburg. We're watching the UEFA Champions League, match day 5 from Group E. We're in Istanbul, along with Eddie Mighton. I'm Mike Hill, and it's the visitors, Bayern Munich, with goals from Janker in the 5th minute, Helmer in the 31st, who have taken command of this game, knowing that a win here would secure a place in the quarter-finals. And with some 33 minutes gone in the first half, Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. That's what you were saying about Thomas Helmer. As we see Christian Nerlinger there just nursing that painful knock. Thomas Helmer was the most expensive player in the Bundesliga, £2 million it cost when he signed from Borussia Dortmund in 1992. German record at the time. How things have changed.
Oh, certainly. I mean, they paid $5 million for the Brazilian elbow up front. And they spent a lot of money, really, Mike, on this team to put it together. And that's a good buy, really. I think £2 million for Helmer, the service he's given for both club and country. $2 million seems cheap.
There's Fink, the player who was brought down that time. So it's going to result in this free kick. Four players over the ball. Referee insists that he's going to pace out the 10 paces. Make sure that wall is correctly positioned. As he wants to make sure that he has got a good view of this. Stand there and watch that one go wide after all the build-up. The execution left a lot to be desired.
Yes, it was Tarnat there. He's got a great left foot, but I think that ball just bobbled off the uneven surface before he hit it. And he got it skewed off his foot, went well wide.
There is Tarnat again. Push wide that time, looking for Christian Nerlinger.
Bayern Munich just looks so powerful, don't they, Mike? I mean, they're a big team. They're technically very good. They're tactically very organised. And they're just overpowering Besiktas at this point.
Now Mehmet Scholl. Losing out that time. The ball just put out of play by Alpay. So it's going to be a throw then for the German champions. Bundesliga for the 14th time last season. Of course, like so many clubs in Europe, a team that is really beset with the past, the great achievements of the team in the early 70s under Franz Beckenbauer that won the European Cup 3 times in succession. Games in 1974, they beat Atletico Madrid in the final, 75 Leeds United, 76 Saint Etienne of France. Always a heavy weight for the current team. Real Madrid find this. Manchester United, of course, are always being compared to that great side of '68. Celtic, another team that live in the past. Even Juventus, to a certain extent, from that great side who won it in 1985 with Platini in their team.
And I tell you, every player who pulls on the jersey, Mike, is fully aware of the traditions and the success that the club have had. And they have to live under that shadow. And their task really is to make a name for themselves and keep that tradition going. You see with Barcelona in the Champions League right now, I mean, they have so much history, so much success, tradition, and right now they're not living up to it, and their players are just getting crucified.
Yeah, Erkan on the far side looking for the cross. It's off the defender, it'll be another corner. I suppose the club with the biggest problem, of course, is Real Madrid, though. I mean, they won this tournament 5 times on the trot. It's going to be very hard to find a team where you can bring players of Hento, Puskás, and players of that calibre into a team. Let's tell you.
Look at this cross coming in here, and Oktay trying to sneak on the back. Just got his shot, couldn't pull it onto the goal, but just finishing off that, Mike. I mean, it's very hard in the modern day to maintain that kind of success, because once you have a team, it falls apart real quick.
Dutch football this week here on ESPN. It's third place Vitesse up against PSV Eindhoven, currently second, the defending champions. And if Vitesse can overcome PSV, they will move into top spot in Holland, or into second spot in Holland. Be the team that will be closest to overtake Ajax. Ajax themselves involved in the European competition 24 hours ago. They overcame Bochum of Germany 4-2 in the UEFA Cup. Competition that's brought up a number of surprises in that third round ties. And Bayern at the moment having trouble clearing their decks this time. Turned across there by Sidar. Khan. Really pressure to take that one. Now Elba. Lifting this one in. The goalkeeper came, and that's good positive goalkeeping and good handling as well from Fezzi.
Well, he's been beaten by 2 headers, which he had no chance of saving. And Bayern know if they can get a good cross in the box, they have the superiority in the box in the air.
Best of heading clearances. It's going to be a throw. Now Sadar. He's played in every Champions League game this season for Besiktas. Now Mehmet Scholl. Space in midfield and trying to link up there with Janka, but his return ball, he didn't give Mehmet Scholl too much chance. Nerlinger. forward. Here's Janka, time to line up the shot. Good save from the keeper. Elmer's trying to get there. And in the end, some desperate defensive work. And it was Alpay to the rescue for Besiktas.
I'll give Alpay a lot of credit. I mean, look at Janka's in here. Good save by the goalkeeper using his legs. It seems sure that Elbo's going to put this in. And that is a great saving tackle by Alpay.
The goalkeeper there did well. Fezzi just stood his ground, stood up tall. It was a very, very big target that time. Make it easy for Janka. Now Bayern Munich have this corner.
Bit of pushing going on between Alpay and one of the defenders on the near post. The referee's just trying to stamp it out.
Mehmet Scholl with the outswinging corner. That time it came off the head of Thomas Helmer, but came to him rather quickly. I don't think he was prepared for this.
Yes, the outswinging corner. Look at Helmer there. He just couldn't react quickly enough because he wouldn't have got a good look at it. There was someone in front of him. But what an important save by Fezzi, the goalkeeper, because if that goal goes in, I mean, 3-0, I think this game is dead, Mike.
Besiktas tonight also missed the services of Mehmet, who's out through bout of flu. Munich are the sort of team that when you face them, you want really your best 11 out there.
Yeah, to stand any chance, and when you're missing key players against a strong outfit like this, you know, it's desperately hard for you. I just feel if the Turkish side could find a way to get some width and get some good crosses coming in, maybe they could open up the German defence. But to this point, everything's played in front of the defence, and they're content just to watch the ball go from side to side without any real penetration.
Okay. Before there with the heady clearance. Bayern Munich, well, they look so dangerous, but that time the attack broken up. This is better. Besiktas. They've got players wait in the box. That was dangerous play. Oktay is the player who's going to be penalised. Doesn't like the decision.
Well, he's gone up for the bicycle kick there, and he's gone up real high, and there's, you know, it was Heyman there trying to head the ball, and he's almost kicked his head off, so good call by the referee. The thing I noticed about Bayern Munich today, we saw the game against PSG where they lost their only game in this round so far. They lost 3-1, and at their back they just look so disjointed at times, and PSG find a way to get to him. Mateus has added some stability. He's a calming influence. They look comfortable at the back today.
Building up. Is that one wide? Janka has made a run through the centre forward channel. Players, including their captain there, that's Recep, arguing that that ball was already over the line. The officials do not agree, so it's going to be a corner.
They better mark this tightly because the Germans will bring the big guys forward. Helmer's an obvious target.
Variation this time, they've gone short. The ball played square. Shot coming in there from Tarnet. A swerve on it, but the goalkeeper there was well positioned. Now Lechkov. Switch in play. Sudan. Now Lechkov. Centre of that Bayern Munich defence looking so solid. Now the turn. The thinking there of Oktay.
Well, he just got a yard on Cafu there, and his control let him down really, because that ball just got away from him as he tried to turn and shoot it. But that's what he was looking for, that yard of space, and he did beat there.
Janka. Now Mehmet Scholl. Scholl Good save again by Pezzi, the goalkeeper. Scholl looks very hungry for a goal here tonight.
Yeah, he works so hard. He does show that he cuts inside. The goalkeeper's well positioned. Makes a good stop there.
We're now playing stoppage time at the end of the first half. One wouldn't expect very much of that, and in fact there is very little. There is the half-time whistle. Well, Carsten Janker gave Bayern Munich the lead after just 5 minutes, and then Thomas Helmer added a second in the 31st minute. Besiktas came out, fired up. Bayern Munich, though, doused that fire with that early strike. Can Besiktas come back? We will find out in the second half. Half-time, Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich.
Do you need...
So half-time here in Istanbul. Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. Match day 5 of the UEFA Champions League. It's a busy day of European action. And let's have a look now at some of the other games. Firstly, off to the De Kuip Stadium in Rotterdam. It's Feyenoord against Juventus. And in the first half, in front of a capacity crowd, Leo Beenhaker's Feyenoord started off promisingly, but it was Juventus who went closest to scoring in the 31st minute.
Yes, the header came from Amoroso. What a tremendous save by Dudek. Look at this diving header, and Dudek reacts well to turn it over the bar.
0-0 then at half-time. Into the second half, Henk Vos plays it across. Julio Cruz is there to finish it.
The Argentinian banging the opening goal of the game, and Feyenoord take a surprise lead.
And it would be Cruz again, 2 minutes from the end, who got his second, and Feyenoord second. And a victory at the De Kuip Stadium for Feyenoord. And Juventus now have lost twice in the Champions League, and they really are in danger now of not making it through to the quarter-finals. The big surprise there in Group B, Feyenoord 2, Juventus 0. Well, one team with a great pedigree who've had a disappointing Champions League has been Barcelona. In the rain in the Nou Camp, they entertained Newcastle. Newcastle, who started so brightly in this year's competition, have faded recently, and it was Barcelona who took the lead in this game with a goal after just 17 minutes.
What a beauty it was by Giovanni, lobbing the goalkeeper, and Barcelona would get in front. Take another look at this deft chip. The goalkeeper has no chance, and Barcelona in front.
So Louis van Gaal hasn't had too much to smile about since he joined Barcelona. Saw his side go very close in the second half to making it 2-0. Reisiger there with a shot that goes just wide. So Barcelona run out winners by 1-0 over Newcastle, their first win in this year's UEFA Champions League. And some results in some of the other matches. Paris Saint-Germain overcame IFK Gothenburg. That still keeps their hopes of qualifying for the quarterfinals alive. And Bayer Leverkusen continued their good form in Europe with a 2-0 victory in Belgium. And Monaco at one stage in this game were 2-0 down. That was a good comeback as they win 3-2 over Sporting Lisbon. Tomorrow's matches from Group A, it's Borussia Dortmund against Galatasaray. Also from Group A, Parma against Sparta. From Group B, Manchester United will entertain Kosica, and then Dynamo Kiev will take on Paris Saint-Germain. Half-time here, 2-0. Stay with us when we return the second half. Welcome back then. Half-time, Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. Well, let's have a look back at the highlights of the first half. In fact, both the goals for Bayern Munich. Besiktas came out very much fired up, but after 5 minutes, it was Bayern who took the lead. And Carsten Janker there, losing his marker, getting that just yard of space, that was all he needed.
Yes, that's all he needed, but it all started from the free kick. A terrific ball into the box, swerving with pace, and Janker just steers that in with his head.
And then in the 31st minute, another free kick. This time it was Thomas Helmer
Yes, Helmer rising above the defenders, and once again, the aerial route worked for Bayern Munich. Thomas Helmer, the captain, getting on the end of it. Again, Tarnett with the cross, Helmer rising, and that is a terrifically placed header. Take one more look at it. That is good placement right there. The goalkeeper has no chance.
It's interesting then that there's two Bayern Munich players going for the ball. One of them was Helmer, and the defender really was caught in two minds. A look then at the first half statistics. Bayern Munich, despite being the away side, 51% possession.
They've controlled this game for sure. They've had 5 shots to 3, and 5 shots they've had good quality chances. They've hit the post, they've scored twice, and Bayern Munich, for my money, dominated the first half.
Yes, and Besiktas really have got a big task if they are to come back. A win here, remember, will put Bayern Munich through to a place in the quarter-finals where the Champions League then will become purely a knockout competition. And Bayern Munich very much now in control of this game and leading here at half-time by 2-0. Besiktas are going to need the support of those supporters of theirs. Will they get it? We'll find out when we return to the start of the second half. Out the season, as this network will carry over 25 matches from this tournament. Watch the best players as they prepare for the World Cup '98. Be sure to check local listings for coverage of the World Cup on ESPN, ESPN2 and ABC beginning in June of 1998. We're in half-time right now, and we'll be back right after these messages. The players are out for the start of the second half. Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. That's the half-time scoreline. It's shot there of our referee, Urs Meyer from Switzerland. He's 38 years old, a director. Been refereeing, in fact, since 1977. Referee doesn't stand any nonsense, but he does like to keep the game flowing. There is Daniel Kaji. Up on the sideline. Looks like John Soshik might very well introduce him, which wouldn't be too much of a surprise, Eddie.
Well, I mean, they're 2-0 down. You need goals. Amakachi's got pace. He's got power. He can score goals. So I don't think it's going to be too long before you see him introduced into this game.
Bayern Munich then get the second half underway. They're attacking the goal to our left. Besiktas, the white shirts, the black shorts. Through there, spotted a handball against Carsten Janker. So it's going to be a free kick for Besiktas.
Clearly a handball there by Janker. He went up for it, trying to head it, but left the arm out there and it caught it. The referee saw it.
So important that Besiktas get a goal early in this second half. Now to come back into this game. Kufor there playing that one off of Sadar.
Well, Lechkov there taking the initiative, going past a couple of men there and playing a nice ball into the box. You can see him playing the ball off there. A bit unfortunate that he couldn't get the return, but that's what they have to do, Besiktas. They have to take this game to Bayern Munich. There's obviously no tomorrow for them. If they lose, effectively it might end their chances of qualifying, so they're going to have to just go all out and throw caution to the wind.
The ball just lofted forward. That's Ertugrul, who was surrounded there by 3 defenders. Hard completes the clearance. Now, Harman. Great run forward now, Mehmet Scholl. He loses his balance, Elba. And the challenge came in, and a corner is being given.
Scholl, to me, was the player of the first half because he was worked hard, he was tirelessly all over the pitch. And that time he tried to sneak in behind. Elba couldn't get the rebound shot, it was blocked, but Scholl is all over this pitch.
It's Mehmet Scholl, who joined from Karlsruhe back in July of 1992, taking the corner himself. As that shot whistles across the face of goal. This is up well wide. Yes, Michel, £2.9 million. And that looks a real bargain.
Yes, I mean, I've very much enjoyed the way he plays. I mean, he's a complete team player. He's playing on that right-hand side, but he's popped up in the middle. He's popped up in the inside right, centre-forward channels. And he's a man who's obviously very fit, Mike.
He's 27 years old. He's a German under-21 international, now a full international. Now this is Tarnet. Alba. Alba, a lot of responsibility on his shoulders. He had to come in to replace Jurgen Klinsmann. Came from Brazil, originally joined AC Milan. He was loaned out to Grasshoppers in Switzerland, and then went to Stuttgart from there. He's become a prolific goal scorer, which attracted the interest of Bayern Munich. Now Lechkov. So he used to play in Germany, had a spell at Hamburg. Plays this one wide. Besiktas now, keeping possession. Now Urkan. And the offside flag goes up. Very, very close decision. Urkan could have perhaps played it just fractionally quicker. Hikmet was the player who was caught offside.
That's really the problem with that attack. Bayern Munich won't be unhappy if Besiktas possess the ball, but you know, the speed of the attack, it was too deliberate to unsettle the defense. And Bayern Munich had numbers back by the time anything really developed.
About Lechkov, of course, his last club in Europe was with Marseille. Rich travel player. On the far side now for Besiktas. Both managers have got their substitutes warming up.
I think if Amakachi does come on, they'll play with three up front and try and use his speed to unhinge the defense for Bayern Munich, because Amakachi is very quick and very strong. Maybe he'll take some of the weight off Oktay up there.
Well, it's Oktay really a bit of a lone battler up there at the moment. Sadar on the far side, now Lechkov. All played square. That was Yankov, the Bulgarian, who came forward, and now Besiktas could be stretched. Elba. Good intercept there by Alpai. Read that well. It was Taifour. Then on its way.
So once again, Mike, just square passes and the defense has a chance to recover. They really have to take the game with more speed to Bayern Munich, because you know the defense is packed in back there now, and they're happy when the play's in front of them.
Yankov who gave away the ball that time. And this is Nerlinger. It's Thomas Helmer. So the second of Bayern Munich's 2 goals. Both Mateus. That time, and worries there for Fizzy.
Well, with John Toshak being a former player in the English leagues and a Welsh coach, obviously the direct route of play might be something he might employ. He's familiar with that, and that might be the way to unhinge the German defense, because building up slowly is not going to get it done for them today.
Yes, although he played his football at Cardiff City and at Liverpool, of course, internationally for Wales, as a coach, John Toshak, although started at Swansea as player manager, looked after some very illustrious clubs in Europe. Had some good success as well at Sporting Lisbon, Real Sociedad, Real Madrid, Deportivo La Coruña, and then joined on the 1st of July of this year, Besiktas. So a pretty impressive coaching resume.
Yes, and not an easy job here, Mike. I mean, you have the big three in Turkey, Fenerbahce, Galatasaray, and Besiktas. And, you know, this club is judged by what the other two do. And if they're having a good time in this one, this club isn't, the manager won't be around too long.
Ask Graham soon, is he? Although he won the cup, and I think they finished 3rd, he was still fired. Tackle there from behind on Torsten Fink. That's Harnett. Time to measure the cross. Overhead kick. Ball has stayed in play. Thomas Helmer. And then his cross too close to the goalkeeper. In fact, his assistant there judging the ball had gone out of play. You're watching the UEFA Champions League match day 5 coverage from Group E. We're in Istanbul with Eddie Might and I'm Mike Hill. Carsten Janker after 5 minutes, Thomas Helmer after 31. It's the visitors Bayern Munich. Leading the team who were the runners-up in Turkey last year. Besiktas by 2-0. A win would ensure that Bayern Munich would make it through to the quarter-finals. This competition will become strictly a knockout affair. Draw will be made after match day 6. After all, 8 teams are known. Kufor. Sami Kufor a couple of seasons ago when he first came into the Champions League. Nobody had actually heard of him, and Trapattoni had to bring him in. In fact, he made his debut in the Champions League before he'd played in the Bundesliga. He looked very, very raw then, but he looks very accomplished now, doesn't he, after just 2 seasons?
Well, he certainly had a good teacher back then. I mean, Trapattoni's a great coach, but having Mateus back there helping you out, sweeping, covering you, certainly helps.
Trapattoni now has all his substitutes warming up on the sideline. Temperature starting to drop here.
I mean, you talk about the 2-0 lead. You know, for Besiktas, if they could just sneak 1 goal, all of a sudden get this crowd back into it, and who knows, that lead could evaporate. You know, 2-0's that false sense of security, really.
Besiktas have proved to be quite a solid team in this Champions League. They've played 4 matches. They've only scored 5 goals. But they've only conceded 5. That was before today. They've conceded 2 here.
The other positive for them, Mike, is their 2 wins in the Champions League have come at home. So this is a place they've done well.
Yes, before today they'd scored 4 and only conceded 1 here. It's now 6-1. The 2 goals added today. Besiktas final group game will be away at the Parc des Princes on match day 6. They take on Paris Saint-Germain. Toshak has been saying that their destiny is inside their own hands. English Premier League action live on Monday. It's Bolton Wanderers up against Newcastle United. Check your local listings 4 times. That's the Premier League. Bolton Wanderers against Newcastle live on Monday. Here's Elba.
Just got a shot of John Toshak, and he had that pensive look about him, trying to just figure out what he could do, what changes he can make to possibly make a difference in this game. And obviously, he's sitting there now, the first opening minutes in the second half, and I don't think he'll wait too long to make a change.
Side flag goes up against Mehmet Scholl. Lifted over the defence. That was a very close decision, but I think the referee's assistant on that far side got it just about right.
Yeah, but look who was trying to get him the end of it again. It was Scholl. He covers so much ground for his team.
worse than Juncker.
Look at this Bayern Munich team, Mike, with 5 games into the Champions League now. I think they've got to be one of the favourites if they do advance to the quarter-final stage to keep going, because they're just so solid all around. They're not spectacular. I don't think they have, you know, big star players that you'll recognise worldwide besides Mateus, but they're just a solid outfit.
It's always very difficult to beat all German sides. They never know when they are beaten. Teams always seem to be able to overcome adversity, whether it be at club level or international level. You can see there Lechkov was just signalling to his teammates to try to come forward. They're still hanging back.
I think the respect they have for Bayern Munich is overcome them, Mike. You know, they knew what they were up against, and I think they've just let that, you know, dominate them mentally. And Bayern Munich have imposed their will on this game, and obviously the 2 goals helped to solidify that.
Because I think the first goal coming too early as well. Not Besiktas' confidence. Perhaps the longer they could have held it at 0-0. But to concede a goal inside of 5 minutes really takes means that all the planning can just be chucked straight out of the window.
Yeah, it's definitely a backbreaker, and you know, you mentioned it early on, and the scenario played out that the team who established himself in the first 10 minutes took control of the match.
Well, we're going to have a change, and the number 20, and that is Imri, who is going to come on. The player that's going off, in fact, is the captain, and that's Recep. So that's a bit of a surprise. The captain goes off, very experienced player, and Imri is the player that comes on. He's just 20 years old, so youth has replaced experience.
Yes, and they've got rid of the sweeper system, I believe. The captain, Reset, was playing at the back as a free sweeper there. Imri, I believe, is going to push further forward, possibly from the midfield, and they're just going to play with a straight 4 at the back.
Bayern looking to break forward on that far side. Throw then. Flag up, so it's going to be a throw now. Besiktas. Just get that feeling that if they could get some service up to Oktay especially, he is a player that can conjure something up out of very little.
Yeah, he's been starved tonight, hasn't he? I mean, any slight opportunity he's had, he's tried to convert it into a goal, but he's a lone striker, really. I mean, Lechkov is the only other real creative talent, and Lechkov spends a lot of time trying to fetch the ball himself. That's why I think Amakachi should come on and maybe just take some weight off Oktay and maybe help Lechkov too.
Amakachi has played in 3 of the 4 matches in the Champions League for Besiktas. 4 appearances, 2 goals for Nigeria at international level. And 6 games for them at the Olympic Games in Atlanta when Nigeria won the gold medal. Actually scored a goal in the final. Just wondering if we're going to see him come on. He's been warming up pretty much constantly since half-time. In fact, starting warming up before half-time. Sadar taking the free kick. Here is Alpay.
See, as that ball goes forward to Lechkov, he's on his own, and even if he does win it, there's no support immediately around him. And the defence is just sitting there waiting for one player that they have to follow.
Yankov. From behind, free kick quickly taken. Now Lechkov. Hit that, and another whistle. This time because Lechkov was caught rather late. So it's going to be a free kick. And they are going to make another change. And this time, Daniel Amakachi is going to come on As Lechkov there, you can see, was clearly being pulled down as he tried this shot, hence the free kick. So Daniel Amakachi comes on, and Hikmet is the player that goes off. Daniel Amakachi, who again is a very well-travelled player. Had spells at Bruges in Belgium and Everton, of course, in the English Premier League. Joined last season, he scored 5 goals. And the chance there for Lechkov. It wasn't Lechkov, in fact. Might have been better if it had fallen to Lechkov.
Yes, a complete miss kick by Scholl there. This boy just fired over the bar. Good opportunity. What Scholl there completely misses shot. And you need to keep those down. Even if it doesn't go in, the goalkeeper might parry it out and you get the chance of a rebound. That was just flashed over the bar.
Yes, there was Sadar, who is not recognised as a goal scorer. He very much a defensive player for them, but trying to push forward now.
Just setting Besiktas up again. Number 12 who went out, Hikmet, was a forward. Amakachi's come on as a straight swap. The player number 20, Imri, who came on, slotting in at the left back. So they're just going to go with a out-and-out 4-4-2 and 2 front runners, Octay and Amakachi now.
Sadar on their far side showed too much of that. The challenge came in. Janka. Mehmet Scholl, always available in midfield. Never seems to walk anywhere. He's always jogging or running, isn't he, Mehmet Scholl?
Well, he's got a tremendous engine, as they say. I mean, he's the kind of guy, oh, I bet he's the first name on the team sheet when the coach puts it up.
Throw then for Besiktas. Here's Amakachi. Challenge from behind by Oron, Sami Kufor. So it's going to be a free kick for Bayern Munich.
Well, Amakachi certainly made his name to burst onto the world scene in the World Cup with Nigeria. And, you know, I think he really struggled in England. The style of play possibly didn't suit him. Going to Everton, you know, they played a very direct game. He likes to have the ball to his feet and get turned and use his creative abilities. And they saw him more as a target man, using his strength.
He scored 10 goals in some 43 appearances for Everton. It's a pretty good strike rate in the Premier League.
Not bad.
Now here go Bayern Munich. A bit Scholl there, just trying to burrow his way through. Now Janka couldn't get anything on the shot. Actually falling as he toe poked at that.
Yes, his touch just got away from him there, so he had to snatch at the shot. He didn't have much space to begin with, but Janka was certainly looking to poke that ball home.
Here go Besiktas, and that ball was over the line, so it's going to be a corner now. Amakachi. So I'm sure that Oktay will very much appreciate having Amakachi up there playing alongside him. It's going to make the defenders think a little bit. Lechkov now with the corner. This one towards the far post. Nerlinger gets it clear. Alpine. Cross coming in, and Oliver Kahn got there before Amakachi. Ball lifted forward, and again Kahn quickly off his line.
Look at that kick there, set turning defense right into attack, elbow almost connecting there, but that's exactly what Besiktas have to do. They got the ball in a good wide position, a cross coming in, Amakachi just couldn't reach it, but that's how they have to break the Bayern defense down.
Harman with the throw. Harman there playing that one through. Mehmet Scholl again, the willing runner, running into space. got great vision as well as a great set of lungs, the way he keeps running. Mehmet Scholl. And now Elba. Ball just bounced away from him.
But you can see the threat that Elba possesses. He almost got on the end of that one.
More Champions League action here on Saturday. Check your local listings as Manchester United take on Concija. So that's a game in its entirety. Vital game that for Manchester United, a victory. And they could pretty much be assured of a spot in the quarter-finals. Now Elba. Here is Nerlinger. The offside flag was up. Certainly Christian Nerlinger, he does a lot of unselfish work during the game. He's the sort of player that if Bayern Munich and if all the rumours are true and he's going to go to Juventus, he's a very hard player to sort of replace, isn't he?
Oh, tremendously hard, because his impact on the team is so widespread. He's all over the field. He's a good technical player. He fits well into the system. He'll do well in Italy because of the work rate he'll get through.
You're watching UEFA Champions League, match day 5 from Group E with Eddie Might and I'm Mike Hill. From Istanbul, it's Besiktas against Bayern Munich, with Bayern Munich taking the lead after 5 minutes. Carsten Janker, the goal scorer, and then in the 31st minute, Thomas Helmer got his 3rd goal of the Champions League to make it 2-0. No change in the score since then. And as we come up towards 70 minutes played, Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. Bayern knowing that a win would ensure them of a spot in the quarter-finals. Now Mehmet Scholl trying to beat the goalkeeper down low. See there did very, very well. Certainly I'm impressed with this goalkeeper, Eddie.
Yeah, he's a young goalkeeper, isn't he? He's not the first choice goalkeeper. His handling has been very good, and he's been beaten by 2 headers, which he couldn't have got, on the best of days. So he's been very solid and a plus for Besiktas. Show that time cutting in from that right, and the goalkeeper showed good handling.
Now Lechkov. It's too close, and Nerlinger got in there quickly. Now Bayern looking to break. Scholl again. Janker. Was too far ahead of his striking partner. So a throw on the far side there for Besiktas.
You just get the feeling that Bayern Munich are just doing enough now to keep control of this game. They're not overextending themselves. They're maintaining their discipline. Once again, very organised, but they're just in cruise control now.
Bayern's next game this weekend will be against Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga. While Besiktas, who are second in the Turkish league, take on the league leaders Fenerbahce this week, or in their next game. One of the big games of the Turkish season. Will not be played this weekend. In fact, it will be played the following weekend. So Besiktas will have 10 days to get over this game. And they come up against their great rivals.
There was an example, that ball earlier on, the forward had a chance to volley that ball, and he tried to bring it down and the chance was lost, and that's just a sign of lack of confidence throughout the team. When you have half a chance, you have to take it, whether it goes in or not. You at least take the opportunity. They missed a chance to have a shot there.
Bayern Munich now have this free kick. Rolling in towards that far post. Brilliant save to deny Janker his 2nd goal. Fevzi there. This was marvellous save, but a great header as well.
Oh, we've seen this before. It's a carbon copy of the 1st goal, but this time he gets a fingertip on it and turns it away. We were singing the goalkeeper's praises, Fevzi, and he comes up with a magnificent save from Janker.
Scholl then with the corner. Goalkeeper comes, takes it, loses it. And Thomas Helmer has been penalised for sticking his foot in there, but goalkeeper lost it. You have to say that the German player had every right to go for the ball.
Yes, he made a mistake there, and got away with it, but as you say, the player had a right to go for the ball because it was loose.
Another throw for Besiktas. This is better from the home side. After all the good lead-up work, cross leaving a lot to be desired.
Yes, they're a bit lacking, aren't they, Mike, really, for a creator in the side. Lechkov is doing his best, but they need a speedy dribbler possibly to break this defence down. And, you know, they also need some better supply to the two forwards who have been starved of good quality service.
You just wonder how much the name Bayern Munich has really affected this Besiktas side today. They were rocked after just 5 minutes when Bayern took the lead. But they've been playing as if they've got an inferiority complex.
Yeah, that Bayern Munich name looms large, Mike. I mean, you know, you've already lost to them in Germany, and you've seen their power, you've seen their strength, and you know everything there is to know about them. But still, there is a bit of a shadow cast by Bayern Munich on Besiktas.
Players work very hard for Besiktas, though, is the number 17, Jordan Lechkov, the Bulgarian international. He's worked hard. He's tried to support Oktay as often as possible. It's not been easy. No Kufor. Across this time, another header. Just over the top that time from Carsten Janka. He didn't seem to be looking where he was heading there.
Well, look, he's turned his back here, and it's come off the back of his head there. That would have been an amazing goal. Look at him, he's turned, it's completely hit him on the back of the head. That's an interesting technique I haven't seen before, but they figured out it works every time. Put the ball in the box, and Janka will get his head on it somehow, and that time he used the back of his head.
He wasn't too far wide when you consider.
That would have been amazing. You'd have to show that goal over and over again if it went in, because I've never seen a goal with it from the back of your head. Off the top of your head, maybe. I've headed a few of those over myself.
Now Besiktas. Try the high ball and the header. And well taken in the end by Oliver Kahn. It was Oktay. He's not the tallest of players, but he got plenty of power behind this header. Climbed well.
The timing of his jump was terrific. As you say, he's not very tall, Mike, but he timed that jump to perfection and got a lot of power on it, snapping that neck muscle to get the power on it, but he timed that jump very well.
Tackle from behind there by Lothar Matthäus on Oktay. He felt that. The referee, though, saw nothing wrong. He's knurling up. There by pure weight of numbers now. Oktay gets past two, but there's always a player to cover. There were 5 Bayern Munich defenders back there that time, all within very close proximity of the ball.
But I tell you, if you're looking for maybe a bargain by some of the bigger clubs, I think Oktay is a fellow with a bright future. He showed me a lot tonight, especially his mentality for going forward and trying to create and score goals. He might be a bargain for someone to pick up.
First on the international side, scoring 4 goals in his early internationals against San Marino for Turkey. People couldn't understand why he wasn't a regular in that Turkish side towards the end of the World Cup qualifying.
Well, it looks like there's going to be a lot of those scarves left over. He's trying to flog a few scarves and no one's taking them, Mike.
So those are the travelling Bayern Munich supporters. Bayern Munich, of course, have got quite a fan following here in Turkey. A lot of Turkish migrants have crossed the border to Germany to look for work. As we were saying earlier, Mehmet Scholl father, German mother. Now Lechkov and McCarthy. So McCarthy, where he can be so dangerous, and that's running straight out of the defence. He had three players around him that time. Managed to get the ball across. A rather a weak header in the end, which came in there from Erkan.
Good run by Amakachi, showed some good positive mentality, trying to take the game to Bayern Munich. The header didn't trouble anyone, but that's what they've needed, haven't they, Mike? And, you know, you wonder, there was some doubts whether he was fit for this game, but you wonder if he'd been on for 90 minutes with the two forwards up there, himself and Oktay, maybe they'd caused a few more problems for Bayern Munich.
Michael Tarnett take the free kick.
It's no mystery who the target will be.
A variation this time. The shot coming in from Harman. It's the highest of the game so far. So it'll be a throw for Bayern Munich.
We talk about that 2-0 lead, but Bayern have never really looked under threat tonight, have they? They look so comfortable. They've got their lead. They've done just enough to preserve it. And, you know, the word for Bayern Munich, really, they're just efficient in what they do.
All German teams, they are well coached, well schooled, very tactically aware. Got players trotting back into their defensive positions.
That's really all they've allowed Besiktas, just the ball in front. They haven't been able to penetrate, and when they do, there's numbers, as in that case, they're trying to collect the ball or covering. So it's been very difficult for the home side to just try and break them down. Look, that's all they're reduced to, just playing square and back balls.
Best of clearances that time by Bayern Munich. And here come Besiktas. You get a goal in the next few minutes, it could just rattle the nerves of Bayern before the end of the game. Yellow card on Jordan Lechkov. In fact, that's the first yellow card of this game. In the 81st minute. Jordan Lechkov is the player that goes in the referee's notebook. One final throw of the dice from John Tosek. Osman is the player who has come on, and Sadar is the player that has gone off. So the third and final substitution for Besiktas, and Osman comes on. 27 years old, joined a couple of years ago from Trabzonspor. So he brings some experience to this Besiktas side. Amit Scholl. And the free kick in. Juncker again. And Helmer with the two players going for the ball. That time it was Juncker who got a touch and took it away from Helmer.
Yes, Helmer was in the better position. Look, he's poised behind to stoop and head that ball. Juncker was first to it and possibly didn't hear the shout to leave it. That's the last we're going to see of him for this afternoon. Juncker's going off. He's had a great afternoon. A precautionary measure, I'm sure, just not to get re-injured.
And it does give the opportunity for Rizzitelli to come on. Player who's coming back from injury, so he's going to come on and get about 8 minutes or so. And Juncker, whose goal set Bayern on their way as early as the 5th minute, is the player that gets the early mark. Not a bad substitution. Carsten Janker, a German under-21 international, replaced by Rizzitelli, who's made 9 appearances and scored a couple of goals for Italy.
That's a sign of the times, isn't it? The big clubs know they have to have big squads, and it's very difficult to keep every player on the squad happy. But when you can get a chance for someone to get in the game, coaches definitely do.
Oliver Kahn. Bayern Munich looking to make another change, in fact. Attract the referee's attention. And Mehmet Scholl is the player that's going to go off. Well, again, I think this is purely to give him perhaps a bit of a breather.
Maybe for him to catch that early flight, Mike.
Alexander Sikla is the player that comes on. So Sikla comes on, the player who is just 23 years old. Came from Dynamo Dresden, joined back in June of 1993 for £1 million.
And for me, Mehmet Scholl was the man of the match. He certainly covered a lot of ground and was very effective, and a good day's work for him.
Now Besiktas. Karchi is penalised for a deliberate push that time.
Some of the Turkish players, their heads have gone down now, and you can just see a look of dejection in their faces. They've tried very hard, and they haven't given up, so the coach can't be unhappy with the effort, but I think they've just been outplayed on the day.
Hoff was caught and pulled down from behind, in the literal sense of the word. Now Lechkov. This is Gurkhan. Amakashi trying to go through, and he was caught. The referee says nothing wrong with that challenge. So the home supporters don't agree. Now Lechkov trying to play that one back into space. And the offside flag was up.
Well, as we get closer to the final games in the Champions League, match day 6 will be coming up in a couple of weeks. Then all the speculation, who's in, who's out, starts to play into your mind. But there's going to be some real big names in that quarter-final stage, and with the knockout format, it's going to be exciting to say the least.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see the draw as well. In previous years, or the last few years since the inception of the Champions League, it's always been predetermined. The winners of Group A would take on the winners of, or the runners-up in Group B, and the winners of Group B would take on the runners-up in Group A. This year it's a little bit different. Remember, the 6 group winners are guaranteed a spot in the quarterfinals, and the 2 teams who finish in runners-up position with the most number of points also go through. So the draw will have to be made, because they don't want a team who perhaps finishes runners-up taking on a team who won that same group in the quarterfinals, playing each other yet again.
And you feel there's going to be a lot of German representation in that quarter-final. Obviously, the defending champions Dortmund are still in with a good shout.
Yes, and Bayer Leverkusen seem to have been saving their best form for the Champions League. As this one comes across, Bayern Munich with an opportunity to make it 3. And the ball coming there to Rizzatelli. I think just that lack of sharpness, which you often see when you've been off injured. Might be physically fit, but certainly the touch there let him down. Lothar Matthäus. Burning up. Elba. It's a lot of unselfish running today, and he's still doing it now. Elba. Well, Rizzatelli there was in a much better position if he could have cut it back. In the end, it took a ricochet from the defender and away for another corner for Bayern Munich.
Yes, Elba did ever so well to get himself in that advanced position and really needed to cut that ball back. And I think Fink is going out. He picked up, Torsten Fink picked up an injury, and he's struggling hardly enough, and they're going to take him out.
Certainly they won't want to risk him at this stage. Marcus Babbel, 26 appearances and 1 goal for Germany as the player that's come on. He's actually scored a goal in this year's Champions League as well. This corner comes swinging across. No worries there for Besiktas. Lothar Matthäus. Alpine. Lechkov. Yankov trying to lift that one forward, and the flag again goes up. So time now starting to run out for Besiktas. See the player on the far side just stepping into an offside position. That was Ertuğrul. Another player with a lot of international experience. 11 international goals in some 26 appearances. We haven't seen too much of him today. There's that shot from a long way out. He's never going to worry a goalkeeper of the calibre of Oliver Kahn.
Yes, and this is indicative of the day that Besiktas have had. I mean, just a weakly hit shot. Oliver Kahn has no trouble. It's just not been their day. They've tried hard and they haven't been able to come up with the necessary play to trouble Bayern today.
The player who's gone down there is Dieter Hamann. Which reckless challenge, more so than anything else. The referee saw it that way as well. Stay with us. Completion of this game. We'll be back with our post-match wrap. We'll have a look back at the goals and some of the other highlights of this match. Bayern Munich now very much on their way to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It will recommence March of next year after match day 6, which will be played in a fortnight's time.
That's really the big challenge, isn't it? Once you do qualify for the quarterfinals, keeping your squad fit, keeping them sharp, because the next games aren't till March. There's a lot of time in between. Injuries can happen, loss of form. A lot of things can go on in that time.
Yes, and of course, players can actually leave clubs, as we saw a few years ago when Spartak Moscow pretty much sold half their team. It's good financial business, but they were never going to be a match in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. As we see this high ball floated in. Besiktas there trying to do the same thing that Bayern did, but without quite the success of scoring goals. It is 2-0 to Bayern Munich. Carsten Janker after 5 minutes. Thomas Helmet in the 31st. 2-0 at half-time. It remained at 2-0. It remains there as we are into stoppage time at the end of 90 minutes. Lechkov. All nodded on. Oktay plays it back. Amakachi. Amakachi goes for the return. And Bayern Munich there with just so many players back. So calling out of what could have been a very dangerous situation.
Yes, the discipline, the organisation for Bayern Munich standing up throughout this game, and they've been outstanding in, you know, the way they played as a team.
Sami Kufor made that one square. Certainly the return of Lothar Matthäus at the back has given a very solid look to this Bayern Munich team. Here he is on the ball. Usually he hasn't ventured this far forward the rest of the game. There is the final whistle. It's a victory for Bayern Munich. And Bayern Munich now will go through to the quarterfinals. Thomas Helmer scored the second of their goals. It came in the 31st minute after Carsten Janker had opened the scoring in the 5th minute. 2-0 then to Bayern Munich. And there's still one more match day to go. They will have a home tie with Gothenburg to complete their group stage. So a final scoreline here then at Istanbul. Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. Stay with us, we'll have more when we return. Well, here in Istanbul, the visitors were Bayern Munich. They've come, they have conquered. They go home as 2-0 winners. Let's have a look back at the highlights of this game. And Besiktas started promisingly, but Bayern Munich, 5 minutes in, scored the goal that would give them the lead.
And the scorer was Carsten Janker, a well-directed header. The free kick came in from Michael Tarnat, and he whips this ball in beautifully. And watch what Janker does. This swerving ball comes in. Janker gets there first and steers this header in. One more look at it here. A beautifully flighted ball, and this is just a well-placed header. The goalkeeper, Fezzi, had no chance.
1-0 then to Bayern Munich. And then a classic counter-attack in the 30th minute. Ball from one end to the other, and Elba there only denied by the woodwork.
Elba was desperate and unlucky, but a great move.
And then another free kick. It was pretty much a replay of the first goal. It came in the 31st minute, but this time it was Thomas Helmer.
Well, Bayern Munich had figured out that they had the superiority in the air, and this time the captain, Thomas Helmer, comes forward. He rises unchallenged, really, and the goalkeeper once again had no chance. The free kick came in from Michael Tarnat once again. Look at this for a glorious header by the captain, Thomas Helmer.
Yes, a great header this from Thomas Helmer. It's his third goal in this season's UEFA Champions League. He brought up a 2-0 scoreline. And then in the 72nd minute, another attempt by the aerial route, and Janker there was denied by a brilliant save by the young goalkeeper, Fezzi, who had stepped into the breach because Murmic was suspended.
Yes, Janker almost pulling off another one, but a good save by the goalkeeper.
A look then at the final statistics, and well, Besiktas finished up with 52% possession. Now, remember, in the first half, it was Bayern Munich who had most of the possession, so Besiktas got a lot of possession in the second half, but they didn't do too much with it.
Yes, a lot of possession. Bayern Munich, to be fair, took their foot off the gas a bit, and, you know, Besiktas had a lot of possession.
And in the game in Sweden today, the other game in Group E, Paris Saint-Germain have overcome Gothenburg by 1-0. So Bayern Munich are top on 12 points. Paris Saint-Germain now have moved into second spot. And of course, Besiktas will play Paris Saint-Germain in the last game. So if Paris Saint-Germain can perhaps win that, they still might go through as the second place team. But Bayern Munich are through to the quarterfinals. Well, some of the match day 5 heroes. Julio Cruz scored a couple of goals for Feyenoord as they upset Juventus. That really was a big surprise. And Monaco came from 2 down to win 3-2. And Henry there scored a couple of goals. Dudek, one of the heroes for Feyenoord, with 6 saves in that game against Juventus. So that's the UEFA Champions League. We hope you've enjoyed our coverage from Istanbul, where Besiktas have been well and truly beaten by Bayern Munich. Bayern then through to the quarterfinals. Besiktas 0, Bayern Munich 2. That's the final scoreline. Thanks for watching the Champions League here on ESPN, a presentation of the worldwide leader in sports.